Hello there. Hope you're having a great Monday morning. Today I want to talk about mindset. And when I talk about mindset, my definition when I talk about it is your thoughts create your feelings create your behaviors, and your behaviors reinforce your thoughts. So everything begins with a thought. So if you want to change your feelings, you're going to have to change the way you look at something, think about it before you're going to really change your feelings on it. If you want to change a behavior, you're going to eventually have to change your thought about this situation to really truly change your behavior. And so with that in mind, you have to understand that our minds there's two states of mind. There's the powerful state of mind, where it's our creativeness, it's our thinking of possibilities, it's that positive, that's where we're problem solvers. And another state of our mind is called the primal state, which is there to protect us. It's that fight, flight, or freeze. And we all have heard these different things. There's different ways people talk about it, but you can't live in both states at the same time. You're either in one or the other. And the reason why this is the way our bodies were created. We have nervous systems, two nervous systems that drive this. The first one is called the sympathetic nervous system. And that nervous system is the thing that is the fight, flight, or freeze. It's the thing that protects us. So when we feel danger, when we're in stress, our body starts pumping adrenaline. Everything starts shutting down. The things that help us fight and run, and everything dilates. Our eyes dilate. Everything gets triggered to protect ourselves. The other nervous system, the opposite, is the parasympathetic nervous system, which it is when we're calm. We relax. Our bodies aren't in total fight or flight. And this is how our bodies are working. That's how they work. Now, there's a cranial nerve that's the longest cranial nerve in our body, and it comes from our brain to our heart, to our lungs, and then to our stomach. And that's called the vagus system. That's the vagus nerve, okay? The vagus nerve, which is really fascinating. That's why when you ever see someone and they're under stress, they're like, I think I'm going to throw up, like they feel sick in their stomach. Well, the vagus nerve is triggering that. Or maybe their chest, they go, oh, I can't breathe. I feel like something's sitting on my chest. That's the vagus nerve. If your heart is racing, I think I'm going to have a heart attack. You heard people say things like that. That's the vagus nerve. It's triggering that sympathetic system to go into fight and flight, okay? The thing that's so important is that there's ways to hack the vagus nerve. The problem is the vagus nerve is very good. It was there to protect us. It's really good for us. The problem is if we get stuck there and all day long you get triggered, little triggers every day, and you stay in a constant state of stress, constant state of fight and flight or freeze. That's why when you have a situation, let's say, for example, I know this with insurance agents, their company takes a rate increase, right? And all of a sudden they start getting a lot of calls about the rates going up. And then they lose a couple of really good clients. And then they get another call, and instead of being excited, like, hey, I got a chance to maybe help my client. Maybe they want to buy insurance, you're positive. Very first thing you go to is your vagus nerve says, oh no. And your brain says, oh no, they're probably going to cancel. I don't want to lose them. And instead of being positive and proactive and creative in that conversation, you might freeze up and just lose a client because they might bring up rate. And you might go, well, just go, you might blow up at them. Who knows what you might do? That is because you're in the primal state of mind, not the powerful state of mind. So what I want you to do this week, I'm going to talk to you about hacks next week and other things. We're going to talk about this many times, ways to get out of the primal state into the powerful state. But the first thing you have to do, if you're going to be successful with this, is to recognize when the vagus nerve is doing this to your body. So this week, as you're going along and all of a sudden you realize that your heart, is racing, or you have a shallow breathing, or your stomach, or you feel that stressor, realize that's your vagus nerve doing that to you. And there's ways to stop that. And there's ways to combat that and get into the right state of mind so you can be more successful and have a better life. So I hope this helps. We'll talk to you next Monday.